Is it going? I assume I'm recording. Maybe I'm just an old guy with new technology, so I hardly know what I'm doing. Hi there, this is Chief, and you've tuned in to the Bullpen, Season 1, Episode 8. I'll try to go quicker. Last time was way too long, but I don't have any skill to show you. I want to get a little philosophical on you. I want to have you thinking just a little bit. Hopefully it won't get too deep. But the thing is, often yearbook is taught by business teachers. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It doesn't have to be taught by an English teacher, journalism teacher, or an art teacher. But there's a leader in business self-help books and TED Talks. There's a guy named Simon Sinek. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he's got this great thing. And his thing is the golden rings. You ever heard about the golden rings? I want to share a little bit with you about the golden rings. The golden rings are, as you... can I point with the camera? I have to... No, it goes the other way, doesn't it? What is the outer ring? And then how is the middle ring? Am I pointing that way? I don't know. And then what we mostly want to talk about today when we get down there is the why. Maybe if I do this. The why. The why. That's what we want to talk about. The why of yearbook. Well, real quick, you know the what. What is, you're putting together this book. Some really old folks don't even call it a yearbook. They call it an annual because it's a periodical, but it doesn't come out every day or every week or every 3 weeks or every month. It comes out once a year, annually. So some people call it an annual. It's a yearbook. Where did that start? You know, there's not a whole ton of history out there on the web about yearbooks. Jostin says something along the lines of Yale University coming out with something in 1806 or so. And then there were some boarding schools, some private schools, high school level, secondary schools in the 1820s, 1840s. I'm trying to remember exactly. The Evergreen, for whatever the name of that school was back east. I think it's the same town as Yale. Hartford, Connecticut. Not Hartford. Where is that? New Haven, Connecticut. Anyway, businesses do this. They have annual reports for their shareholders. Corporations do. I could have brought the annual report of the Iowa General Assembly. Congress has got a congressional record, that kind of a thing. There's been something like a yearbook around for a long time. Kind of an American thing, though, mostly, wouldn't you say? Anyway, how are you going to do it? Well, you're going to do it with words and pictures, I imagine. And maybe our teachers among you do more pictures, and the English and journalism teachers do more words, and business teachers, I hope, maybe kind of make it a balance. Maybe there's more ads or more marketing. I don't know. But maybe you still do it in triplicate. That's a paper thing, carbon. Never mind. I'm sure that you're all too young. You don't remember that. But maybe you're using some kind of technology, whatever computer program that you use. That's part of the how. But the most important thing is the why. So let's look at some why. Why? Look at the why. Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's good to know why you're doing this. Thinking about this why helps you in part think about who are your audiences. You know, your primary audience is your students, but you've got secondary audiences, your teachers, faculty members, maybe parents, and you've got a third level or tertiary audiences, yearbook advisors and teachers at other schools, business people in your community. There's all kinds of people see yearbooks. You'd be surprised. So it also is going to help you consider your coverage. What stories, what pictures, what clubs or teams or classes, what individuals, what do we want to get pictures of? What do we want to write stories of? Who do we want to get quotes from? All of this why will help you make a lot of those kind of decisions. Well, so for one thing, some of your audience is in the future. Okay. You may not think this, but you're kind of on a time machine in a way. You think about future. People 10 years from now are going to get together at their 10-year reunion, class of 2011, 2010. I've been doing that this summer. A lot of those banquets, get-togethers, and that kind of stuff happens around Memorial Day or early June or 4th of July. I got folks, my in-laws. They call it now the 70s Club. They're in their late 70s. They graduated in 1960, maybe 61. At any rate, so, they're looking at their 40th reunion, 50th reunion. And you got Gen Xers like me that we've been out of school for 25, 30-year reunions. But people are going to look, and they're interested in it. You go to a town library. There are actual historians that look at different schools' yearbooks. Okay? So whether they're going to your school or to the library or to the county courthouse, they're looking for historical records. There's all kinds of people that are actually interested in this. So you're teaching journalism, you're keeping a journal. Think of it like Lewis and Clark. They had to keep a journal of their explorations and what they discovered: animals, vegetables, minerals, other indigenous peoples, land forms. That's what you're really doing for your school. Is you are the front page of history. You're recording something that people in the future are going to be looking at. Why else? Well, it's a reference book. You're keeping records, for people. And this is still people in the future, but not the distant future. This is people, say, maybe the next 4 or 5 years, not 10, 20, 30 years or 50 years or 100 years, but just in the next 3 or 4 years. Okay. How did so-and-so, what was their track record? How many feet did he jump? Somebody's going to ask. It might be you. It might be a yearbook staffer or a newspaper staffer that they want to get a thing called background that helps you do analysis of some new information. So, oh, wow, we beat Woodbine. Whoa, how long has it been since we beat Woodbine? Or, oh, man, we lost to Arweva. How many years has it been that we've had this winning streak and we've been beating them? Somebody's going to want to know. Maybe they're writing a story. Maybe they are just curious. Okay. A lot of these records are kept in other places, in your school office, the PE office, athletic director. But that's one why. Just keep a reference. Okay. Why else? Well, this is something that you want to learn. It's a good career kind of a thing. We're in a information age. Of course, I'm kind of saying we're in an information age since 1980s, but it's at our fingertips. It's right here on YouTube or somebody's blog or your phone. Is that you? I'm talking to you on your phone. Yeah. Social media marketing. It's not just news journalism or feature journalism or layout and design, which is graphic design. PR, public relations. A lot of times people think of that like politicians or a publicist for a celebrity or an athlete. I know that we kind of had thought in my high school, we had 3 staffs: we had yearbook, newspaper, and PR, public relations. Think that they were in charge of programs for basketball and football games and that kind of stuff. But, universities have college relations. Corporations have customer relations. Sometimes they have in-house newsletter, that kind of a thing. So public relations is really broad. It's huge. It's writing copy. It can be marketing, could be advertising, it could be shareholders. Basically, I know high school kids, maybe you don't want to hear this, but in the adult world, we still make reports. It's not something that you're doing for an English teacher with note cards and an outline and a 10-page thing, but you know, uh, what we do, information literacy, is we gather information, process information, and we share package information. We're doing that all day long. When you retweet something or repost something or share an article or share a TikTok video, that's what you're doing. You're watching. You find something new, whether it's entertainment or information. You think about it, you personalize it, you make it your own, you chew on it, you digest it, and then you package it and share it out. That's what PR is. And really, a yearbook, even though it comes out once a year and it's a lot of pages instead of just like 4-page thing or a flyer, it's PR. So this is a great skill for you to learn, whether you're your own business person, an entrepreneur, or whether you're working for a company or you're working for somebody else, small business. I don't care if you're a mechanic or a truck driver or a farmer. Uh, you might find use for some PR skills. Maybe if it's even like a family reunion, getting together at the lake this summer. How do you get in touch with all your cousins? PR. Okay. And not to be left out, there's fun to it. Right? One of my first yearbook editors, I think it's my second yearbook editor. First yearbook editor was like a athletic director, assistant athletic director. She was at Grinnell here in Iowa for a little bit. But my second one, and she's in Illinois, so like a scrapbooking company. She's just like, this is her job. She designs the layouts. She comes up with pre-cut stuff. She does tutorial videos. She has workshops. I think she like works for a scrapbooking company. And maybe you're not into scrapbooking. Maybe you're not into bullet journaling. But if you have an Instagram account, you know, you're basically taking pictures and archiving them, keeping them someplace, and you like to share them. And so this yearbook is for you and your classmates. It's something personal. What are our memories? Tap that fun, tap that angst and grief and whatever stress that you're going through. My daughter is sophomore, going to be a junior, is a little nervous about becoming a junior. She says, everyone says it's the hardest year. There's ACT and SAT and scholarships and start applying for college and whatever. And I'm like, maybe I'm too much of a B student instead of an A student, but I think it's your quintessential high school year. When you're in college or when you're an adult and you look back 20 years before, when you think about high school, you're probably going to think about your junior year more than freshman or sophomore or senior. And I don't say that to exclude all the underclassmen or junior high kids or seniors, but whatever it is you're going through, whether it's fun and laughing or whether it's tragedy, those will happen. Or whether it's stress or anxiety or anger or whatever, you feel it. You probably feel it a lot more real and a lot more raw than a lot of adults do because we've learned different coping mechanisms. But that's one of the why we make a yearbook is to capture that, right? And you think about old songs, and these songs, as old as they're going to be for you, they're really not that old for me because I was in high school in the 80s, but from the 90s and the 2000s, right? What was that? Nirvana and Smells Like Teen Spirit, right? Come on now, entertain us. If you could bottle Teen Spirit, if it's not a smell, but it's sight, sound, taste, all of that, and you could put it between two covers. That's your why. That's one of the things that you want to do. And so that whether you're a spring delivery book and you get the yearbook before graduation, or like us, you're a fall delivery book and you get it in August because you want to include track and golf and graduation and all that stuff that happens in the spring. When they open that book and they've got those memories from the previous year, and it's a little bit more like Green Day, right? It's something quite amazing. I hope you had the time of your life. And I won't torture you with my singing, but it ought to be emotive. It ought to invoke a mood. My art students, gotta hate this. More importantly, evoke those memories, right? And maybe provoke or inspire something. Okay, so you got the distant future, the near future, the next year or two, and even currently, and definitely bottling up all the stuff that you're going through in the here and now, and saving it so you can look at it next year. And that's a real cool thing. I had eighth graders that were already nostalgic about their elementary school days, and we don't have a formal eighth grade promotion or graduation. So there's a look at the why of yearbook. And I really hope that staffs and advisors will talk about what's your why. Does some of your why fit into any of these four? And that might be a springing off place to start brainstorming for theme ideas. What do you want your why to be for this year's edition, this year's volume? What did I say? This was episode 8 or 9 or something. Anyway, more to come. I'm probably not going to do a ton more today. This is our not really last day of school, but a last staff day, and I want to get my summer going too. But you take care. Have a great summer, and see you again later.